Hey guys, so I have a pick a deck reading for you today. So you can choose between the Tarot Nuages. I may be killing that name, but it's Nuages. So I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the original tarot or the Tarot of the Abyss. So today's reading, I'm going to ask, why do they still trigger you? So why do you still get upset seeing them, hearing their name, whatever? In my mind, I'm thinking probably an ex, but this is just someone, but it could just be someone who triggers you. This is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I have to admit, I am kind of going into this being like, it's probably an ex or someone that you just really cared for at one time, maybe a really good friend, really close friend that now pisses you off. Um, so, what purpose did the connection serve? What purpose does it serve, if any, at this point? So, how do you release it? And maybe we'll get some advice at the end. That's basically the plan for this. So, we're going to start with the Tarot Nuages. So, timestamps will be in the description. Tarot Nuages will just say first. So, for why they trigger you, we have the Queen of Wands and the Ten of Cups. So, could be dealing with the Aries, don't have to be. Then we have the Seven of Cups. I'm not gonna lie, I was really confused at first when I'm like Queen of Wands, Ten of Cups, or Ten of Chalices in this deck. Like, that looks really good. Like, why would that trigger you, right? Are you just don't want to see them happy? Like, what's going on? Like, their happiness is your misery? But then the Seven of Cups, I'm just like, okay, I think I get it. So when you were with this person, you decided to be with them, right? You decided that you wanted to be with them. You wanted them. You wanted the happy home, the happy life with them. You wanted to create something with them. And you were very passionate about it. You wanted them, right? They wanted to keep their options open. That is what triggered you. Why weren't you good enough? That's how you're feeling. Why weren't you good enough? Like, you're picking this person and they want to keep their options open. Like, they don't know if this is meant to be. They don't know if something better is going to come along. Like, they wanted to have one foot in the door, but one foot out. They wanted to stay here because they liked how you treated them, but then they wanted to be able to leave if a better opportunity came around. And that blatant disrespect is really setting in now that you two aren't sharing the same space. So, what purpose did this connection serve? We have the Four of Chalices, and I kind of got the message there with that one. So, the penguin is sitting here with these three chalices here, really paying attention to these, the current situation. The penguin's obviously sad, but this is where the penguin is choosing to be. And this could have been you in this relationship a little miserable, putting in more and more effort, trying to be chosen by the person who's like, I want to keep my options open though. Like, I want to keep my options open. You guys weren't on the same page. What purpose did the connection serve? It's to show you that you don't have to stay somewhere that's making you miserable. Like, there are other opportunities. There are other opportunities that you may be missing, that you may not be seeing or acknowledging because you're trying to make it work in a situation that doesn't want to work. Right? Like, I feel like this person they stayed because of how you treated them. They liked the attention, they liked the treatment. But you guys were never on the same page with the Ten of Cups versus the Seven of Cups. You were committed and they weren't. It just kind of reminds me of the, like, whole thing about, like, loving somebody is great, but at the end of the day, are you guys compatible? Are you can love somebody all you want, but are you going to be happy in that situation? Is it going to serve you? And it doesn't look like this served you. And it's something to acknowledge in the situations, I think, is what the purpose of this connection was to realize that, yes, you can love somebody, but it's not always the best situation for you. It's basically what I'm trying to say. So let's see if there's any purpose to the connection now. So in this, we have the Page of Swords, we have the Eight of Coins, we have the Queen of Chalices, and we have the Four of Swords. So you could be an air sign or a Cancer. So air sign, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Don't have to be, though, or you could have been dealing with one of those. I just see this being like reflecting on the past. The knowledge should be coming in that you should see the benefit of your labor, right? And you should be somewhere that you enjoy putting in the effort. Because if you're putting in the effort out of fear that they're going to choose somebody else, are you even enjoying what you're doing? Or are you just trying to keep someone? This kind of has a little bit of codependency, to be honest. Like, it feels like I need you to stay so I'm not alone. So you're going to keep putting in the work instead of being in a situation that you enjoy being in. And also with the Queen of Chalices, just looking at her cup, I feel like you may be in a position where you put a lot of people's needs before your own, and it's time to look at your needs. What are your wants, desires, needs? You just need to know that you matter. That you matter. It's great to be sympathetic and kind and nurturing to other people, but you also deserve that. And with this Four of Swords, this Four of Swords is a little different because if you see, it's got someone resting with four friends around them protecting it. It's a safe space for this gargoyle. And possibly resting from a Three of Swords moment, like the heartache. So basically, I just kind of see this as like you spend so much time trying to create safe spaces that you aren't really judging if a space is safe for you or not. And it's time to judge if a space is safe for you or not. If you are comfortable in that space, it's great that you are good at, I feel like you're good at making other people comfortable in your space. But are you comfortable in their space? Or do they just drain the hell out of you? You need to be able to rest too. You know what I mean? You need to feel safe too. You need to feel wanted there, protected as well. I think these are things that if you reflect on this connection, you will see that you didn't feel those. It was always like, fighter, you got to fight for this connection. You got to fight for this connection. You can never just take it easy and enjoy what it was. And that's very important. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next step. Okay, so how to release. Again, we have a general air sign thing. So you could be dealing with an air sign. You could be an air sign. I feel like there's just an aha moment for you whenever you're evaluating all the reasons why you're in this despair, why you're upset about this connection, why you're angry, frustrated, sad over this connection, depressed. And I feel like with this Ten of Pentacles, it comes from them not reciprocating the energy. Like, I think just looking at this, I get the sense that you gave and gave and gave and gave, and they just took, man. They did not give back to you at all. And they didn't reciprocate the energy at all. And I feel like if you realize that, you'll be very upset about it, and you'll be like, you know what? They ain't shit. They ain't shit, whoever you're dealing with. Because all they wanted was someone else to do for them. I think this is your realization. This is your moment. This is your aha moment. Because I think when looking at this, it just feels like you look back on the relationship, you see how they treated you versus how you treated them. They didn't deserve your kindness. Like, that's just how it feels. Like, maybe, I don't know what place they were in. Maybe they were in a place where they just needed someone like you to help them through. Maybe they're just a real user type of person. I don't know. I don't know their story. We're looking at you. I feel like this anger, frustration for the non-reciprocation in the moment really helps you snap out of this misery. So hopefully that in itself helps, because I was trying to give you that aha moment, but this may be something, because it does feel like an aha moment, this may be something that you have to sit and think on. So I think some of you need this advice. You could have been dealing with a fire sign. You could be a fire sign with the Ace of Wands. So that's Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. I think a lot of you are still living in this Ten of Chalices mode. You're remembering how they made you feel, right? I think some of you need to realize you lost passion. You lost passion. You don't have the fight for this anymore. You don't want to fight for this anymore. I think you just don't want to admit that. You just don't feel it like you used to. I think you're just sitting in the memory of how it used to make you feel. But if you sit in the present, all it brings is misery. All it brings is misery. It's really time to let it go. I know it's so much easier said than done, but you don't have that same passion for it anymore. It just brings you pain and depression. So hopefully this helped. We're going to go ahead and move on to the original tarot. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day. Okay, so let's get signs out of the way real quick. You could be or could be dealing with a water sign. We have Scorpio specifically, or a fire sign. So I did see this person. They either balanced your relationship. I guess they could still be triggering you. I'm assuming X, but take it as it resonates. It's a general reading. But I just see this as, with this combination here, Death, Two of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. I see this person balancing like this new love offer, this new want all this passion for you, while also trying to let go of their ex. And that could have led to a lot of like, why aren't you more like my ex? Or comparing to your ex, their ex, sorry. And either you're not up to their standard, or you're doing the horrible things that my ex did. Now, if this doesn't relate, the second thing that pops into my head is they didn't really cut ties with their ex. Like, looking at that death card, I'm kind of like, they may have tried to keep in connection and contact with their ex. Like, they were releasing. Like, this almost, what's popping into my head is like, you were a rebound trying to get their ex's attention, trying to be like, and now this could be how you're perceiving it as well. But I'm going to get that message out real quick that's coming through my head. You were a rebound trying to get their ex's attention, trying to get their focus back on them, trying to be like, look, I can do better without you. I can get someone else. Like, you see what you're leaving behind type of thing. It was kind of a petty fuck you to the ex instead of trying to ignite anything with you. And you can kind of see that even more with, like, I see this as you and this as them, right? We got the Ace of Wands. You're bringing the passion. You're really enjoying this. You're just like, oh my God, let's do all the things together. Let's be romantic. Oh my God, I can't wait to do all these things with you. And with them, the friend version of this card kind of come up. Like, I think this was a relationship. I think they participated in relationship things with you. But maybe they acted like you were a friend. Maybe they called you more like a friend. Maybe this was like trying to keep the relationship casual. But when it came to giving to you, it almost has the feeling like it wasn't that special. Like they would do that for anybody. Like they didn't really bring that spark to the relationship for you. And it just kind of feels like you're really frustrated because, like, what the hell, man? Now, like, for some of you, it could have just been because they were recovering and they just did not have the emotional capability to give to the relationship. Like I said, I'm kind of getting different storylines here, but let's just say whatever resonates for you, right? Maybe it'll make more sense whenever we get into the purpose of the connection. So we got the Wheel of Fortune reverse, Sagittarius and Pisces energy. We got Two of Cups reverse. We got Two of Swords, and we have Three of Swords. So listen, I feel like you've gone through a lot of heartbreak in your life, and a lot of it comes from situations like these, where you bring the heat to a situation with somebody that doesn't really agree with you, that they want to be in this. Maybe you guys just don't really see the eye to eye. Maybe it's just a lot of stagnancy in the relationship. Like you're not really getting out what you want to get out, and you're trying to keep adding fuel to the fire with that Ace of Wands going into the Six of Cups. And it's just like the other person really doesn't know, and you're trying to convince them. I feel like the purpose of this was to stop trying to convince someone else to like you, to love you, because you're putting all that effort in searching for the validation and you're just getting yourself hurt. Find the person that already does. Find the person that already does. You don't need to convince anybody. That was the purpose of this connection. So the purpose of the connection currently is kind of the same purpose with the King of Cups and the Four of Wands here. You could be a Pisces, could have been dealing with a Pisces, don't have to be though. But it's just getting in control of your emotional reactions, of your emotions, and making the best decisions where, yes, emotions do play a factor, but they shouldn't overtake the decision making process. Will lead you to better outcomes, better situations with someone else who will celebrate with you, who will bring that energy as well. I know a lot of you may have this real excitement for someone else. Some of you, I'm hearing like excitement for the chase, and that may be what's getting you. Like when someone changes their mind or when they see your value, you really like that. So if someone initially sees your value, you may be like, well, there's no chase in that. There's no fun in that. But, there's also there's a lack of this. Like the heartache from whenever trying to prove your worth and not getting that validation happens. Because maybe you'll change their mind for a season. But it never really works out for you. It's kind of how this feels. So let's get people who are initially on the same page as you and see how that works. I really feel like that's the purpose of the connection. It's supposed to be a little bit of an eye opener for you. The chase doesn't always work, especially when they keep running. So I'm gonna do like the advice and um, the how to release in the same thing because I kind of feel like based on this, it's kind of the same thing. So we have the Six of Wands, and I feel like you have a tendency to live in this Three of Swords energy. It kind of feels like the heart of the reading, to be honest. And I know pun because has the heart anyway. Um, you're living in a state of misery right now. You're having a lot of trouble getting over a situation because you're miserable that it didn't work out. You're miserable that they didn't see your value. Well, go where you're celebrated. Go have fun. Enjoy the moments, instead of trying to chase down something that doesn't want you, does not want your attention. Like that's making you more and more miserable. Let's go hang out with some people who want to be around you, who want to hang out with you. Hang out with some friends, hang out with family, hang out with people who enjoy your presence, hang out with, go on new dates, have new experiences that fill you with joy. That is what this reading is about. It's time to go out, celebrate, and have a good time again, is what I'm getting in this. That is how you are going to overcome this heartache. That is how you're going to be victorious again. It's time to go out and go to where you feel good because being in this state of misery is just not working for you anymore. Chasing down the past is leaving you miserable. Chasing down what doesn't want you is making you miserable. It's like you enjoy the chase, but the results suck, right? So hopefully that helped. I know I'm having to break hard news to you on that one, but I hope it did help you guys. So anyway, we'll go ahead and go to the last deck. Thank you guys for being here, and I wish you some healing because this one kind of seemed rough. Okay, so I think you have a little bit of a savior complex, to be honest. Now, I don't want to invalidate your trauma, your feelings, your pain throughout this, and why you're so miserable, why you're not miserable, why they trigger you, why they're making you miserable. And I think a lot of it is because to you, this was an obvious choice. Like, I can make you so happy. I can do all these things for you all. I feel like you saw them in this place of just pain, misery, and like I think this was a rebound relationship, to be honest. And you were just like, hey, look at all this stuff I can do for you. I can do so much better. And they had trouble deciding, and they had trouble really committing, deciding because they were in this place of pain. But like I said, you were just like, it's obvious, isn't it? With this sun card, like, I'm so good for you. I'm so funny. I'm so charming. I'm so happy. I can make you happy. Like you're so happy. We're so happy together. Like it's obvious, isn't it? Either that or this person, you may have been a little oblivious to how miserable this person was in the relationship and you were like, "No, we're happy. We're happy." And you were like one of those toxically positive people, like never wanting to have disagreements, maybe avoiding conflict a little bit. Be honest with yourself. We all have things we need to work through and change, but it really feels like a lot of your frustration, a lot of your trigger with this person is from the fact that you viewed it as we're so happy, we're so good for each other. This is amazing. This is like the best thing ever. Why can't you see it that way? Why didn't you see it that way? You may not have saw the problems or you may not have saw their pain if they were still in pain from the ex. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it feels a little invalidating. I'm just saying this to be like like I said, I'm not gonna judge you. I'm kind of seeing both sides here, so it's just kind of like this may this is meant to be a why does this trigger you? So a healing thing, and we all have things to work through. You're not judged here. It's just you may be a little bit too optimistic, too on the bright side, and wanting to ignore problems or like let's make you happy instead of sad. Let's do all these things that are great. Let's get you out of this depression instead of like actually looking at the sadness. And if it would actually work, could be a water sign, could be dealing with a water sign that's Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Also, there's Leo here. So, what purpose did this connection serve? Thinking about it, I was like, this is general. So, you could have been the sad person and dealing and frustrated because someone was always ignoring your pain, acting like everything was fine when it wasn't. That totally could be you as well. I think honestly, I may have both people here. So I'll try my best to read for that. But I do feel like there's definitely two opposing energies here. Like one that was miserable and trying to talk about it, and the other's like, no, we're happy, or no, let's just do things that will make you happy. Like, definitely for sure. Not really addressing the problem or the root of anything, or just overlooking the sadness, basically, not giving it space. So, either side of this coin, right, that you're on, the purpose of this connection is to help when asked to be helped, to have that strong, passionate, like, let's go out and do fun things, let's make you happy, let's do the things and just forget the horrible time for a minute. Let's be together, like, let's just have all this exciting, passionate. There's a time for that. There's also a time to let someone be independent, be on their own, figure out how they can create their own abundance without you, right? Or on your own if you're the other person. I feel like both of you need this active balance here. Sometimes you need someone else to help you, and sometimes you got to figure shit out on your own because on this side where it's like figuring shit out on your own, you got the Eight of Swords and the Death card. This is something that only you can overcome. This anxiety, this being in your head, this not seeing things clearly, there's no one who's going to save you from that. And you're not going to be able to save anyone from that, depending on who I'm talking to right now, because there's a savior and there's a victim here, right? Um, that's just what we're going to call it. Someone who's perpetually sad, someone who's perpetually optimistic and trying to make the best of a situation, trying to ignore the sadness and just make everything better and just be like, no, let's be happy. It's happy. It's happy. No, you're not going to be able to save someone from themselves. Only they can save themselves, right? Only they can start seeing their power. Only they can embrace themselves, embrace their power, their strength. Only they can have the courage to overcome the anxiety. Only they can do this. There are some things that some people can only do on their own. Now they can ask for help, and if they ask for help, you can help them. But you can't force anyone to let go of things, to get over things, to transform to whatever it is. You can't force someone out of this state of depression. You can't force someone out of this state of anxiety. It's something they have to do for themselves. If they ask for help, can you be there for them? Hell yeah. But you can't force it out of them. And no one will be able to force it out of you. There's a lot of work you have to do for yourself. You may need to go to therapy. There may be things you have to reflect on and see within yourself. And like I said, there's definitely two sides to this. But you can't save everyone, and you can't rely on every situation for someone to save you. Is it good to have people that will help you? Yes, totally. But there's like this balance of depending on people too much as well and getting frustrated at them when they're not solving all your problems. That needs to change here a little bit. and also getting frustrated that you're not capable of solving other problems. One person's putting too much pressure on other people to like provide for them, to save them, to solve all their problems. The other person is putting too much pressure on themselves. Like I said, two sides of the same coin. And either way, this connection served that purpose to try to open your eyes that you can't do everything for somebody and somebody can't do everything for you. Could be a Leo, could be a Scorpio, either way. What purpose the connection is serving, we have the Eight of Cups. And, oh, I don't know if I showed the cards in the last one. We have the Nine of Pentacles, Death card, Eight of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. So, with the Eight of Cups, the purpose it is currently serving you is it's okay to walk away from love, from connections that just are not working for you anymore. They're not working for you, and they may be taking away from your happiness. Maybe they're draining you too much. And to find what truly satisfies you, and you may have to do that for yourself. You may have to go on a single journey for a little while. You don't necessarily have to, but it's important to fulfill yourself and not seek that from someone else, or not try to be that person for somebody else, because I feel like it's the same coin, just different sides. Like, if you're trying to fulfill somebody else, you may be lacking and not really wanting to look at the things in your own life and what your needs are. You may be trying to fulfill someone else just so they will return the favor. Now, I could be wrong. Totally open to that. That's just kind of thoughts coming out of my head. Um, but what's the last one? How we're going to release this connection, how we're going to release what's holding you back, and maybe some advice. It'll probably be combined. I feel like I've been doing advice stuff like through this whole thing, so I may not draw for advice because the purpose of the connection kind of felt like advice. So I feel like the advice is like, honestly, therapy may help. And part of that is saying, because part of the advice is King Cups and the Fool. So recognizing that you're on the start of a journey and you may need help. You may need to absorb information from people that have more knowledge on the subject than you, who um, are more experienced than you, who just are more wise than you in the situation. And there's nothing wrong with being here. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just, I think part of this is learning to overcome the emotional instability that comes with trying to provide happiness with other people and getting that validation, or trying to get your happiness through other people. I think this is a journey that should be taken. If you've hopefully you've gotten this far. I know I was a little hard on this reading, but this was a little bit of a what's triggering you and trying to go into it. So I did have a little bit of that intention, um, trying to trigger healing and not just trigger you. You know what I mean? So hopefully you got this far, and if you're willing to listen, it's basically releasing a lot of these issues come through gaining like emotional maturity, gaining um, the emotional stability to not let others affect you and realize that you're not the source of other people's problems. That's that's basically the advice and how to release this. You're not the source of other people's happiness or problems, right? Unless you're going out of your way to be a problem, But I'm just saying. Could be done. I think we've had a few Pisces cards come out here. You could be or could be dealing with a Pisces. We have Aquarius and Aries. So yeah, I believe that is done. Like I said, not judging you for where you are in your journey here. Um, I mean, I started therapy like, I think I've been in it like 2 years now, something like that. Year and a half. I don't know. I forget. But I mean, it's a hell of a journey. And I don't think I'm at King of Cups level, to be honest. But trying to get there, you know, having that emotional stability. So I'm not going to judge you for this. I think it's just recognizing where you are, and like I think you want to be here. If you definitely, if you've been this far, you want to be here. And I'm just going to say therapy helps. Therapy really helps, having someone to talk to and help you through these things, set goals, all that stuff. Um, it's a lot easier to talk to a therapist about these things and go through it with someone else than to try to do it yourself. So, anyways, wish you guys the best. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, this helped you guys.